Welcome back to Ask the Attorney. I'm Amy Rao-Mohan along with Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm in Clarksville. Lots of calls today, so we're going to go ahead and take those.
We love it.
Got Mary here. Hi, Mary.
Hi, what can we do for you, Mary?
I was just wondering, is there a such thing as grandparents' visitation rights in Tennessee?
Yes, ma'am. You hear lawyers argue that issue all the time. In fact, I'm in a very hotly debated one as we speak. And yes, remember this, if children can have a grandparent that's been heavily involved, for instance, many young people, I was shocked, I was in another county, case after case after case, the parents were involved in drugs. So the court had taken the children and given them to grandparents. Well, and then just a little while later, the parents say, we want our children back. And parents have superior rights. I do submit to that. But I also submit that grandparents have rights. And so there's going to be a debate, well, they can't do this. You need to talk to an experienced lawyer and advance the cause.
All right, and probably a family law attorney, do you think? Okay. We've got, let's see, I think Mary here. That was Mary, I think. So we've got Eugene. Hi, Eugene.
Hello.
Hello. How can we help you tonight?
I'd like to speak with Mr. Kennedy.
All right.
He's right here.
Civil suit that was filed, I retained an attorney in 2015 to file a civil suit in the state of Utah, and this attorney was subsequently under investigation by the Utah State Bar. And I would like to know, and what this did was this delayed my filing of the case. I would like to know what is the statute of limitations on this case, if there is any, because I want to follow up and retain another attorney to proceed in filing a civil suit.
And Eugene, what kind of case did you say it was?
Civil.
This was a civil suit concerning a contractual dispute.
Okay, so some type of breach of contract.
The first thing we'd have to determine, it's Utah law that controls what is their statute, and every case has a statute of limitations, and we need to find out what that is and see if he filed, is the case still alive, or did the lawyer just take the case, negotiate, and never filed? So if if you had an issue where you couldn't get your lawyer to call you back, or you were getting correspondence and you wasn't having sufficient communication, I believe it's time to try to change lawyers and get someone that you could. And you'd like to get a copy of your file so you could take it to the lawyer and see if they could pick up the case and move forward. For whatever reasons, if lawyers have medical problems or family issues, many times they may just say, well, I can't handle it. Well, then, okay, would you like for me just to pick up my file and go somewhere else? A good understanding keeps down a misunderstanding. The vast majority of lawyers are not crooks. I know we'll hear about one here or one there, but that's not really the case. The vast majority are men and women of integrity. They've been smoked over from A to Z to get there. They don't give you that license without going through a fitness, ethical fitness exam. You have to have the bar exam. So I'm not saying there's not some bad apples, but it's usually not the case.
Make sure you check with someone who knows Utah law on the statute of limitations there. We've got Mike here. Hi, Mike.
Yes. I was wondering, I hurt my knee on some personal property, and I was doing the work for free, but the insurance company said that they were only going to pay $5,000, but they ain't going to pay for my medical bills up front. And I didn't pay for it. I was wondering what I need to do if I need to obtain a lawyer.
Yes, and what you're going to find, and it really is shocking, everybody wants to be fair. They'd like to make it simple, but if you go to any city, the biggest building in that city is an insurance company. Well, you don't build big buildings and you don't give big bonuses to the CEOs without getting that money somewhere. So you always need to get a lawyer. You know, when they talk, so many people say, well, if you've got a lawyer, you get 3 times more money than without a lawyer. And they said, well, it really wasn't that big deal and they're going to pay this. Well, it is a big deal because they represent, we're going to take care of you till you're right on the statute, and then they don't do what they're supposed to. Then lawyers many times say, you're too close to the statute. We don't want to get involved. We don't have time to get this ready or to find is there other defendants. So again, you really need to move forward. When they say the early bird gets the worm, if it was my daughter, my son, whoever, my people, I would try to say, get to a lawyer immediately. Let's find out, because that's why we have the lawyers, someone to protect your. Our society is too complicated.
Yep. All right, we've got Hiram here. Hi, Hiram.
Congratulations on your orchard.
Thank you, Hiram. That's kind.
I got a question for you. I was wanting to know about, since Nashville's at the fairgrounds, they're thinking about closing it down for soccer. What will they do for the racing and the wrestling and also the Tennessee State Fair, since the new super speedway's closed down also? Where will they have that?
That's a good question.
What you had to say. Thank you very much.
Well, and that's where we're going to get into a little dispute, because some people say, well, we need to take all that property and develop into high rise. We can bring more money. It's also, and by the way, I love the Tennessee flea market. Yeah. So when it comes, it's one of the biggest Nashville flea markets. It's great, and we love to look and go. So, and there's so many people, that's how they're making a living. So they're not really super prosperous, but they are making a living, and it means something to Nashville and the surrounding counties. But you get into that problem. Sometimes they say the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and who has the votes on the council? Now, Kevin, is it right? Is it wrong? It's Kevin who's got the votes. So what makes the decision on the votes? Being persuasive, being vocal with your legislature and your city councilman. Go and talk to them in advance. If they called me, they haven't called me. If they did, I'd say, hey, leave it alone. We love the way it is. We like the racetrack, and go right on. I am all for progress, but it needs to be the voice of the people.
All right. We've got Kathleen. Hi, Kathleen.
Hello.
What can we do for you?
Listen, I'm having a problem with AT&T.
All right.
Okay, I'm disabled, and I've been on this program called Lifeline. It's a discount program.
Yes, ma'am.
A discount program that you get off your phone. You get a discount off your home phone.
Yep.
Okay, I've been on it ever since it started. So last year, when they sent me the paper, they send you a paper, tell you dial this 800 number, recertify. I did that. Then they waited till November. They sent me a letter, told me that I was no longer eligible.
Yes.
And, okay, let me tell you the reason why. I live at 1612 14th Avenue North in a house. I've been here ever since April the 19th, 1997. For some reason, AT&T wants to put a B on this house. Come
on. For whatever reason, I'm listening to you, and that's where we say it really is a David versus Goliath. AT&T is big, and for whatever reason they say, well, we need a tower and we need to do this, and I'm listening to you. You're not the only one that the big companies come in and say, we need this, and we're going to do whatever it takes to do that. So the only hope you have is to reach out to a lawyer. The lawyers make the difference, and we've got to always keep the courthouse doors open. The only thing that these big companies fear is a really strong advocate lawyer. That's the only thing. It sounds like
she might have and maybe I misunderstood, but a clerical error where they're saying there's a B like a duplex. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's what's
the best way to handle that is try just to. Many lawyers have free initial consultation. Find one, go in and sit down, and if he doesn't tell you what you don't think makes sense, go to another one and sit down and get a couple of opinions.
All right, we've got Priscilla who's been waiting. Hi, Priscilla.
Hello. Hello. I want to ask the question, should you file for bankruptcy? If you file for bankruptcy, how long does it take to clear up from your name being on the bankruptcy?
Okay. Good question. First off, bankruptcy was meant to help the average man. Whenever you got in a situation, you've got more debt for whatever reason, car wreck, sickness, somebody ripped you off, somebody filed bankruptcy on you. Good people, bad things happen to good people. So if your circumstance is such, and we looked at it and said this is the best, then I say do it. Do it, do it. Number two, many times we have people that file bankruptcy through our office. The next day they're going out buying brand new cars. And you say, well, how do you do that? Because they've got a good job and they don't have any debt. So again, you know, they'll buy a new car and then they can go get a house. So the system is structured so that, you know, people don't get under a burden their whole life. One of the worst things ever, Amy, is to see someone struggling with a credit card they cannot pay, and they struggle 15 years when they could have come and seen one of the bankruptcy lawyers there at our office, and it could have been wiped out.
And what's the time period?
Well, of course, it'll be on your record probably 6 years, but again, it doesn't have the same connotation that it once did. And we've seen several doctors, it gets back, well, the doctor wiped out $1 million worth of debt, but his income is $25,000 a month. He can go and get another home. He can get another car or 2 or 3 cars.
All right, lots of great advice from Kevin Kennedy tonight, and keep calling that number 737 plus 737-7587, and we'll be back after a quick break.